Lost city in Jordan stunned archaeologists with a marvel of engineering discovery. We're talking about the ancient city of Petra. Petra was once the center of the world, but after hundreds of years of a thriving civilization, the city soon became completely abandoned. The ancient and lost city of Petra has been excavated for years. It was once a bustling hub of commercial and culture, center of the world, and one of the vital waypoints between East and West. Inhabited from as early as 7000 BC, that's 9,000 years ago, Petra was officially transformed into a livable city by a people known as the Nabateans around 4th century BC. Making it their kingdom, they quickly grew rich and used this money to invest in the settlement, using cutting-edge technology to enhance living conditions and making Petra a city of splendors. Archaeologists found a number of exciting relics at the site and previously came across a complex irrigation system that researchers said was one to match anything found in the modern world. Of course, at that time, their pipes were basically clay pipes. The system was explored during the Smithsonian Channel documentary Secrets, Riddle of Petra, with the show's narrator noting, "It seems Petra thrived thanks to Nabatean skill in managing the scarce resource of water." The Nabatean storage and irrigation system was an incredible marvel of engineering, a complex network of cisterns, dams, and channels, harnessing water from desert springs and its 4 inches of annual rainfall to maintain a year-round water supply. Located in one of the most difficult and inhospitable places for a city to prosper, the Nabateans had to think of on their feet when making the metropolis viable. It's carved into a narrow valley known as Al-Sik in the desert, with temperatures often exceeding 40 degrees Celsius. Crucially, there is no nearby source of water. At its height, 30,000 people lived in Petra, but native water sources were only sufficient enough to provide for only 2,000 people. Dr. Christopher Tuttle, Council of American Overseas Research Center, said, "It's a testament to the resilience of Nabateans and their ingenuity that they could modify the landscape to meet their needs." And Dr. Thomas Paradise, geoscientist from the University of Arkansas, said, "We'd be pretty hard-pressed in the 21st century to be able to create a city that was sustainable and lived very well." The system begins in the hilltops where dozens of reservoirs could be found. These would have once caught and captured every drop of rainwater that fell on Petra. At the highest place in the valley, we've seen a cistern that was able to collect water from the whole summit area, Dr. Paradise explained. It was so successful in holding water that we can see how high and rich in the water was that was being collected. The rainwater would have flowed through a giant crisscross of channels which descended into the city. Today, terracotta pipes can be found all around Petra, the material that hydrated Petra's people. Dr. Paradise said they would have been covered, tubed, and connected all the way down. These are very much like the exact same terracotta pipes we used across the planet 2,000 years later. And he said, and we have more than 100 miles of these channels throughout Petra where the water would have been fed into the city very slowly, stored again in a series of cisterns. They're not very steeply angled. It's a very gentle angle. If it was too steep, the water would rush through too quickly and break and back up. If it's too flat, the delivery of the water into the very cisterns would be too slow. Researchers show that this system worked extremely well, providing some 12 million gallons of water every day, solving all of the city's agricultural and domestic needs. It was so good that the Nabateans were even able to build a 140-foot public swimming pool in the royal gardens, what the narrator describes as an unparalleled luxury in the middle of the desert. We're looking at a 2,000-year-old engineering feat that is nothing short of brilliant, said Dr. Paradise. Neighboring powers grew jealous of Petra and soon made attempts to besiege it. The Greeks attempted to overthrow the Nabateans in 312 BC but failed. When the Romans came 400 years later, in 106 AD, their forces proved too much and soon Petra fell to the Romans. The Roman Empire made itself the ruling power for a few hundred years until an earthquake tore through the region in the 4th century AD and completely destroyed the city. The Byzantine Empire sought to re-establish Petra but failed, and it once fell again into disrepair. Most people forgot about Petra, and it was mostly used by shepherds looking for shelter from the rain or warmth in the winter. It wasn't introduced to the West until the early 19th century when Swiss explorer Johann Ludwig Burckhardt stumbled upon its ruins and took stories of the forgotten city back home to Europe. And this is on Express UK by Joel Day. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support. Finally, support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.